Alright, what's going on guys, it's your boy Zilchi and welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the best skills that you can use for Sung JINWOO. I'm going to show you guys the skills that I use on a daily basis whenever I play this game to clear content. Because a lot of the skills in this game actually do give you certain buffs to Sung JINWOO, like crit rate, crit damage and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at those skills. Before we hop in guys, if you do enjoy the content, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe, and let's just hop straight into it. All right, so here we are over at the skill section. As you can see, we have the whole skill set here. A lot of good skills that I don't use, and there's a lot that I do use. The reason why I don't use a lot of them is because obviously the ones that I do use are just a lot better in terms of what it's offering for us, right? So a lot of the skills, if you take a look at the full moon wheel, even the full moon wheel is actually not even bad, right? So it says damage dealt to normal monsters increase by 75%. So this is actually good for stages where you have to take your horde of monsters, right? But there's other skills that do better for you, right? So let's take a look at my very favorite skill when it comes to clearing content and a lot of the stages, like chapter 15 if you're stuck on that, which you need to beat for the new job change quest, right? And that is this skill right here, black hole, right? Black hole is very good because it rounds up every single one of the enemies, even sometimes the bosses, if they're not in their like super armor phase, right? Let's take a quick preview. If we take a look, you see what it does here. It's literally a black hole. Also, that little effect he has when he like shakes his hand is pretty sick, right? And it just gathers everyone up, and it says right here, damage 53.71% of JINWOO's attack, cooldown is 15 seconds, MP consumption 169, and depending on the number of targets the skill hits, increases damage dealt to normal monsters by 15%, up to 10 targets. So I think this is very good because it rounds every single one of them up, and you still have your chance or ability to one-shot them with like an ult. Let's say you're using the scythe is going to kill every single one of them. If you're using the west wind, it's going to go through every single one of them, and weapons like that, right? If you're using the plum sword, you use the skill, and that's basically what this skill does, and it helps you clear stages a lot faster in my opinion, right? So let's say you're stuck. Again, I'm going to use chapter 15 as an example, where you need to beat certain bosses in a certain time. You're able to use this skill to round all the monsters up, destroy them, then go on to the next stage fairly fast, right? And I do have a video on this skill. I showcased every single one that he has here, and I showed you why this one is the best one. Then I ranked them from which one is the best and the worst, right? So this skill, very first skill I'm going to talk about, because in my opinion it is the most useful skill in the game when it comes to clearing a horde of monsters, right? So we're going to take a look at the next skill, which is obviously going to be the armor break here, the almighty break, because this is the only one in the game that is all the almighty break, right? So let's read which ones and what they do, right? So first of all, I'm going to read this one, the Decimation, because I think this one is the best one in here so far, and I'm going to read the next best one afterwards, right? So this one right here, all right, so C damage 2309% of JINWOO's attack, cooldown is 20 seconds, MP consumption 225, so it does take a little bit of MP, right? But that's fine. Deals fire elemental damage, deals almighty break damage. When the skill hits, it inflicts the airborne effect. When the skill is used, increase critical hit damage by 50% for 5 seconds. This is why this is pretty good, right? The critical hit damage increase by 50% is very good because this is a guaranteed increase, right? So you should be doing a lot more damage when you hit the crits once you use this skill. So ideally what you would want to do is use this skill and then immediately after dash with the plumflower sword, then use your ult, and you should see yourself do a lot of damage, guys. Like this skill is very good, right? And on top of that, this skill actually does hit really hard, right? And obviously it has an almighty break, so it's taking care of that shield or the break gauge that the boss has fairly easily, right? A lot of the times you're going to use it, that's half of his bar, or even more than half sometimes. So this skill, very strong. Critical hit damage, very good in this game. All right, the next best one, all right, is going to be the wind skill. All right, I'm going to show you guys why. So damage is 1104% of JINWOO's attack, cooldown is 20 seconds, MP consumption 225. So again, that does use a bit of MP, but that's fine. deals wind elemental damage, deals almighty break. When the final hit lands, knocks down the target. And this is where it's pretty good, right? When this skill hits, it increases the target's damage taken by 10% for 12 seconds. This part right here is why the skill is good. The other part we don't really pay attention to. The damage increase or the damage taken by 10% is very strong. I use this against Cerberus in hard mode, and this actually does help a lot. You can see the difference when you're not using it and when you are using it. So if you guys have this skill and you're struggling against Cerberus in hard mode or even normal mode, try to use this skill. See if the 10% for 12 seconds does help, because there's a lot of skills in this game that can help you with that. Alright, so use this skill for that. I think this skill is very, very, very good. The next best one, I would go with the water skill, right? So what it does, again, it does use 225 of the MP. Damage is 1168 of JINWOO's attack. Cooldown is 20 seconds. Almighty break. When the skill hits, it knocks down the target. When the skill hits, it applies the freeze effect. So the freeze is why the skill is pretty good. It's a 1.5 second freeze. I think this is very strong, because you guys know, being able to stop them in place, it actually does freeze a bunch of enemies as well, and it pushes them back. So it buys you time as well to get a lot of attacks in through with your, your hunters in your support stage right there, or your support skills, so you can get their QTEs and get your time cooler down, so that way you're not getting attacked while you're using these things, right, and waiting for them to come back. So I think this skill is pretty good. Obviously 1.5 seconds is the duration of it, but by the time you are finished the attack, it is gone, right? But the reason why I also think it's really good is because Vulcan is weak to this, and it just does good against Vulcan and even Cerberus. So if you guys don't have the wind one, the water one is perfectly fine as well, right? So there you go. And then the last one obviously is this one. This one is not as good as the others, because I think this one just increases defense by a little bit, right? Let's see. Inflicts, so it actually doesn't. I don't see anything about defense, but it should have. I thought it did. Here it is. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So when you use increased defense by 15% for 30 seconds. So it's not bad. The defense is pretty good, right? This actually, listen, this one is actually not bad at all, because JINWOO becomes invincible while using the skill, so you're not going to get hit while using the skill. So it's very strong. I actually do like this skill a lot. I use this in the light stages one, obviously, because of this right here, the invincible. So very good, very good. The next one we're going to talk about here is going to be the death dance. The voice crack. Hold on, listen guys, I just woke up. Okay, every video is becoming more and more apparent that I'm just waking up when I record these. Voice cracks are gonna happen, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, I'm sorry, my bad. Anyways, let's go into this on the earth shock. Damage is 946% of JINWOO's attack, and pre-consumption 158. Deals light elemental damage. This is a heavy break, so it does a lot of bars, right? When the final hit lands, it knocks down the target. When this skill is used, increase critical hit damage by 30% for 10 seconds. So the original strat for clearing Vulcan was actually using this skill right here, the death dance, what's this, the earth shock for the 30%, then also using the crit hit damage almighty break skill to decimation, I think it's called, right, and get that extra 50%, right? So when you use that, you're doing technically 80%. I'm pretty sure that's how it works and why we were doing it. So 80% extra critical hit damage. It's so insane, guys. So if you want to go ahead and you're struggling, you want to get your ult, so you get the blessings for Vulcan, right? Get your blessings and just get blessings that do ult. And then if you can't get one that does, if you can get one that does just attack increase, you're going to be almost one-shotting Vulcan with your ults, right? So that's a strat that you guys can use. This is why this is very good. One of my favorite ones. It also does reset Commander's Touch, right? So if you use Commander's Touch, then you use this. You can use it at one more time. So Black Hole twice, like back-to-back, is really, really good, all right? The next one I'm going to say is Death Dance again. But this time it's the Eruption, because let's look what it does. It does a heavy break. But the only reason why this one is so good is because the damage dealt to the bosses and elite monsters increased by 75% once you use it, right? So it's when this is hit, when this last hit hits, or this whole thing hits, you get that 75% increase, or I think it's just actually using it. You get that 75% increase, so very good, because a lot of the bosses in this game are super tanky, so that 75% of damage dealt is really, really strong. All right, so those are the best ones that I have, that I use on a current day-to-day basis, right? There are ones that are good still, like the new skill. I haven't used it yet, but I've been seeing a lot of good things about it, right? When your attack hits an enemy that doesn't have a break gauge, it increases the damage of raid cut. I don't know which one raid cut is, but it seems like this one here, or this new skill here, is supposed to be buffing other skills. So I think that's actually not bad at all. Not bad at all. So I've been using this one a lot too, because it says when this skill is used, it increases critical hit rate by 10% for 12 seconds. So again, any skill that helps you increase certain things are very strong in my opinion. So this skill is actually really good against the guild boss as well. All right, so there you have it. Those are the best skills in the game right now, in my opinion, to use on a day-to-day basis, right? These are the ones that I use every single day to help me clear content in this game. Obviously other people use other skills, but in my opinion, these are the ones that I find easiest to grind with, and should be easy for you to grind with as well. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.